Hey, I'm Seth Hawkins, and welcome back to the CedTalks Podcast. My two guests today are two great friends of mine. I'm hoping they're going to bring some wise words to the podcast today. Hoping you guys learn from it. Right now, here is Zane, Carey, and Gautam Ajai. Boys, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having us, bro.
Yo, what's going on, man?
Yeah, it's been a while, man. I had you on the show a year ago, probably, with me, you, and Malcolm.
Yeah.
Zane, has been a few months since you've been on the show. Been about 6 months, but nonetheless, I said earlier, I'm glad to have you guys back on. I'm glad that you guys took the time out of your days to come and do this with me for a while. So once again, thank you guys very much.
No, of course, man. It's like a perfect opportunity to do so anyway. So
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Lined up really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Mentally, how have y'all been? You know, I know that's a question we always ask each other. We always ask, how you doing? We say, great. We just keep it moving. But mentally, from a mental standpoint, how have you guys been?
I'll go first. Mentally, I think I've been doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I've been good. I told you in February I started meditating, and that's been helping me a lot. Started meditating, doing affirmations, all kind of different stuff, just to, kind of get out of my head. But working out's been helping me a lot. Meditating always been helping me a lot, even though I haven't done it in a while. It's always good to meditate. But yeah, I think I'm doing well.
That's good.
Doing well.
Good. G, how have you been?
I've been good, man. I'm honestly I was thinking about some sort of scripted answer to say, but I don't really have much to say. It's been pretty good, dude.
I mean, you've always gone with the flow of things in life, I feel like, so.
Bro, I feel like that's both of us.
I suppose. I mean, things have been going pretty smoothly, I guess. Roadblocks happen, but that's part of life. So it is what it is, dude. Everything's been pretty good.
Yeah, and that's what I've been trying to teach myself, too, about roadblocks, because I've had lots of instances in the past few weeks, past few months, where I've had different roadblocks being placed in front of me. But it seems like now, the past 3 to 4 weeks, I've been able to take those roadblocks and, maneuver myself away from them or push them to the side and just keep it pushing with what I've been doing. Because, as you said, we all have roadblocks. We all have difficulties in life, but it's all about pushing through and getting past it.
Right.
Yeah, that's really well said. Something I've been focusing on is not being so difficult and so hard on myself, because you like to set the standard and always stay at the standard, but like you said, when you hit a roadblock, then it's like, oh shit, where do I go from here? And so just getting back in the swing of things, if you will, it's better to sometimes take a step back, reacclimate, see where you are, and then go from there.
Right.
So.
That was my biggest issue with the podcast, because I reached 100 episodes. That was my big time goal, my all time goal. I talked so much crap about getting to episode 100. And it was like, once I got it, once I reached to it, it was like, now what? Now what do I do?
Right.
I didn't know what to do. Everybody, I felt like everybody was expecting me to do more, but that was just me being in my head, thinking that everybody was expecting of me to raise the bar and continue to go high. So this is my first time doing a recording in a month, so I feel like I might be a little bit rusty, but you never know. I'm just going with the flow of everything. But it's just one of those things where you have a roadblock and you just have to figure out how to maneuver yourself around it, figure out what to do to get yourself out of that dark, negative headspace and do something great with your life.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, so one thing I've been telling myself recently is about progress. So, like you said, say you didn't do the podcast for a month. A lot of people would come in and say, look, starting tomorrow, I need to do 1 episode a day. But no, that's not how it should work. You should do, even doing once a week, right, is better than doing nothing every day or nothing at all, right? Mm-hmm. So you should track, every month I did this once, right? So say you did 1 podcast episode this month, next month aim to do 2, right? So it's all about progress and not pushing yourself to do this and this, because a lot of times we'll set a goal for ourselves and fail, and then that'll put us in a more dark headspace, like you were saying.
Right. I wanted to address one thing you said. You said something about you thought everyone was like, oh, what are you going to go from here? But it was really just you in your head, right? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
That is something I've been struggling with lately. It's hard to put your finger on exactly what it is until you realize, wait a second, I'm putting this filter on my own mindset because I think people are expecting this from me, but it's really what I expect from myself, right? And so once you kind of realize that, once you acknowledge it, then you can move on from there.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to unwind and disconnect from those thoughts because
Yeah.
you've always had those thought patterns pretty much your entire life. So it's just very difficult, but it's baby steps. You know, you just have to take your time with it and learn not to be in your head so much. As like I still struggle with it to this day. Like on Wednesday, I was having feelings of loneliness because I felt like I was, not reaching out to people enough, and it felt like I was losing all of these connections that I had made, but that wasn't the case at all. We're all just very busy, and it's just life, and life happens. So I don't believe there's any such thing as lost connections. The phone works two ways. You can always make that connection, and that's just something I have to constantly, remind myself.
Right.
Like, I got this. Like, I got this. Even though in my mind there's so much shit going on in there, like, I truly got this because there's been instances in the past where I've had done great things. Yeah, just something to think about. Gautam, I know you graduated back in December. How has your life changed since then? What's been different?
To be honest, not too much. I guess I started working, so there's that. I work with my mom, but now I'm just focused on the next steps, I guess, and whatever I can do to get there. So hopefully I can go to medical school. I'm in the process of getting everything together for that now, but I'm not super pressed about it. I've been kind of taking it at my own pace. I also try to, every day do something that I enjoy. So, of course, I like working on my car. I like riding my motorcycle. So, I'll try to do at least one of those things every day. To be honest, man, life's just been pretty slow. So, I kind of enjoy that. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to get to that point in my life where I just take everything so slow, and I'm just so like chill. Like you have a peace about you. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get like that.
It's
no,
like,
but honestly, like, I still have my daily struggles, like, every day, something different. Outwardly, I may act like this, but, of course, we all have our struggles, so it's pretty rough sometimes.
he makes it look easy.
Yeah.
I swear, he always looks like he's just in control.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
It's not like that, though. It's not like that.
But like,
even with this whole med school stuff, I've just been behind on some stuff I need to do, so I'm a little stressed about things like that. But I guess I have to remind myself that I'm still young and there's time to do everything. So it's kind of what gets me through.
right, yeah. That's something I've been trying to teach myself also, that I'm only 21. Like, I just turned 21, It's not like I'm 28 or I'm in my 30s right now. Like, I still have time, even though it feels like I don't have a lot of time,
Right.
I still have time.
Right.
You sent me a podcast. At the moment I forget.
The Roommates.
Yeah.
The Roommates
I need to
podcast.
continue listening to them. They're great. They go back and forth like really well, and they interview some pretty interesting people. But they were interviewing these two guys, and they were talking about how they were in their 20s, right? So like in our shoes, and they were really really eager to be successful, but they were expecting everything to come like right now,
Yeah.
right? Like there was no patience about their desires, which makes sense, but again, you have to remind yourself, like, dude, I'm not even 20 yet. Like, I still have time to, do all the things I want to, enjoy life, really. So,
Yeah, it's that instant gratification. We all want it right now.
Right.
We have to have it right now. But that problem is, if you get all of that success at a fast pace, you can easily lose it because then you get cocky and you get arrogant and you feel like you don't have to be humble anymore. You feel like you can do whatever, and then all of a sudden you're going to lose all of that, and that's when you truly hit rock bottom. So I feel like with me, I haven't been really chasing a lot of instant gratification lately. I've just been trying to be like G over here, take things slow, one step at a time, and then allowing all of that success to come in, but not letting it get to my head.
Yeah, man, there's something to say about being materialistic and instant gratification. Like, it goes hand in hand, and that's something I've been trying to work on too. So
Yeah.
it's a constant battle, honestly.
It's funny you said about materialistic things. Like my mom, she was giving me flack like a few months ago saying that I needed new shoes because I've been wearing the same shoes for the past 2 years now, because I'm sure y'all remember back in high school, we were all big on the clothing brands and wearing all these nice shoes, the Jordans and the LeBrons.
I wear these every day just from 10th grade.
Exactly.
You
Like
say
in
back in high school, but the thing is, there's so many people that are still like that.
Exactly.
Right?
Like I don't care about that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I used to, but then it's like I just stopped kind of caring about that. But she was like, you need to invest in yourself. You got to get all these new shoes. You got to get these new clothes. You got to look decent. You got to look presentable when you're
That's
in
a
public.
different kind of investing in yourself.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. She was just like, when you're out in public, people need to see you. They got to see you wearing all this good stuff. They got to see that you feel good. I'm like, yeah, that's true, but I like my New Balances that I got my freshman year of college.
Right.
Or I like these Roshis that I got like back in junior year of high school. Like I like rocking these things.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not big into like materialistic things, the shoes and the clothes. It's like, yeah, they're great and all that. I'll treat myself every now and then, but I'm perfectly content wearing this dirty old shirt from senior year of high school and these American Eagle shorts from 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's kind of specific and not the point of what we're talking about, but like a lot of stuff with this kind of, especially like wearing clothes, it's about how you wear it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people will buy all this shit and like have no confidence. So
Yeah.
Just wear it. Like nobody's looking at you.
That is
just
factual.
Like, wear it.
Yeah.
How you doing? Good. How are you?
Good, how are you? Yeah, like I'm glad you touched on that, like confidence. I'd say the past year or so, I've gained like a lot of confidence within myself and everything that I've been doing. Whereas like a year ago or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I didn't have that confidence. Like you said, I was buying all these clothes, but I wasn't rocking it with the confidence of a high valued young man. I would just wear it, but I didn't really believe in myself. I didn't have that spark in me, you know what I mean, with every step that I took, if I was out in public or if I was in school. Now I do feel confident in what I wear. Like every time I walk in public or if I'm at work, like I'm feeling myself,
Yes, sir.
But it's not a cockiness, it's not an arrogance. Yeah. It's just I'm confident in myself. In myself. Like I know who I am now. And I'm still trying to figure that out. Even though I know who I am now, I still don't know who I am at the same time. Like I'm young, I'm 21. I'm still trying to figure stuff out for myself. Figure out what I want to do with my life. But I'm happy with where I am.
All right,
good, man.
That's good.
Yeah, that's got to be the biggest what's the word I'm looking for? Demeanor or something.
Yeah, demeanor.
Demeanor, whatever. People think that buying all these things are going to make you, look a certain way, when really it's just, as corny as it sounds, it comes from inside.
Yeah. On the subject of being content, have you guys ever struggled with not being content with where you are at in your life?
I feel like we talk about this all the time.
Oh my God, yeah, all the time. Yeah.
I think that's part of being young. You don't know where you fit in, so you try to find your place, kind of have an image of what you want to be, and we forget to remind ourselves that we have some time to get there, I guess.
Yeah.
It's good to have a goal, but kind of got to take it into perspective. Like, what resources do you have? What can you do to get there? What are your interests? Like, what do you want to pursue in life? So, it's a lot of questions.
Everything should be in stride,
Yeah, right.
This ties into what we were talking about earlier, instant gratification. You're not going to get everything you want right now, right? It's a process. And so if you really want it, you're going to put the time in, you're going to do what you need to in order to get there. So
right.
It's all a process.
Yeah, you have to put the work in. I always think of these celebrities and how they're living in these big mansions and they have all of this money, but it's all about how they got to get to that point. Like the Roommates podcast that you were just talking about. They made the analogy of Tom Brady. Tom Brady, he wasn't instantly drafted when he first was into the league. It took a while for him to, get picked to join a team. And he didn't build all that momentum when he was playing for the Patriots until like many years later. But once he built up that momentum, there was no stopping him. But by that point, he was in his 30s, mid-30s, and he was just on a roll. Even now in his 40s, he's still going strong. He could easily retire if he wanted to, but he's doing his thing right now.
Dude, I hate Brady just because I'm a Redskins fan, but you gotta respect him. Like
you have to.
You got to. His accolades speak for itself.
Yeah, it's like for every LeBron who goes straight into the league, and makes their money like that. Not dissing LeBron because LeBron is hella talented. What I mean. But for every LeBron who gets that success right there, you always got people who have to work their way up to the top, and they have to grind just to get to the top.
Yeah,
and so,
absolutely. It's all about the grind.
Yeah, you just got to take your time with it. Gee, I like how content you are, man. Like you're just chilling, man.
No, I'm just listening.
Chilling.
I like listening.
Mm-hmm. Mentally, how did you guys get to where you guys are at now? you know, let's say 2 years ago, 3 years ago, obviously you guys are different from where you guys are at now. What were the tools and skills that you guys had to do to get to where you're at now, mentally?
I feel like there's a lot of trial and error, to be honest. Yeah, like I feel like I try something, mess up, get down on myself, try something else, get down on myself. You know, there's a cycle. I guess, you know, there's resources along the way, of course, like YouTube videos, books, that kind of thing. You know, talking to friends, maturing is a big part of it too. You know, you see different things, you have different experiences, and you realize different stuff. To be honest, I'd be watching anime and stealing the main characters.
The main characters what?
Yeah.
Bro, just be stealing their whole personality. Take their personality.
Yeah, man. For me, I will say the last year or so has been amazing. Just on my spiritual journey, or whatever you want to call it, and just becoming into my like own person, just maturing, like G mentioned. It all happened at like around the perfect time, and I realized who I was, and so it's been good ever since.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Before I ask my next question, Gautam, I sent you lots of videos. I've sent you lots of book recommendations. And I know you was busy studying for that medical test you were going to do. Have you ever got back to that?
No, I haven't.
I knew it.
I've been reading one book for like the past few months. And the thing is, like, I'll read a few pages every night when I go to sleep. But it's like I'll be reading and I'll fall asleep while I'm reading.
Yeah.
So I honestly haven't been reading like anything other than that book. So
What is the book?
it's called Musashi.
You put me on to that, yeah.
It's good.
What is Musashi?
It's a Japanese like epic story, I guess. You know, like Iliad and Odyssey from Greek. Yeah, so it's a Japanese thing. It's about a samurai who actually is finding his way. So basically, he used to be like a ruffian. Like, you know, he had no idea what was going on. And that man got locked up for like 2 years in a room, read like hella books and stuff, and then came
Changed
out.
his life.
Yeah, he came out and like he's on his journey he's pursuing like the way of the sword, basically. So he's kind of OC. It's a good book.
Sick.
It's
I
a
think
good
I'm gonna
book.
start reading. I just got off of work, so I just finished my intro. I'm gonna start reading that book.
Yeah. Where'd you get it from? I got to get it myself.
I got it I read it on Kindle, so I just got the file from this website, this one website.
I'm about to do that then, honestly, because I've been trying to get back into reading myself. Because, like, yeah, I'll read, but sometimes I just get so busy that I fall behind on my reading. But, like, that sounds interesting. Like, I definitely want to do that.
It's a good book, yeah. I definitely enjoy it. I don't know, sometimes these self-help books get so fucking dry, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like this is a book, you kind of get tidbits from it as you read through the story. You know, like lessons, I guess. So it's good in that way. It's like an adventure. So
Yeah. But what is your opinion on self-help? Do you believe that there is such thing as consuming too much self-help, that you begin to get like kind of obsessed with that kind of help that's being given?
yeah, of course. I mean, I think there's been like studies done on this though, but consuming too much of this type of stuff can become obsessive, like you said. I guess it's good to take general ideas from whatever you read. If you see something that you think can help you, yeah, of course, try it out, use it. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But you can't like say, oh, this doesn't work for me, so I'm never gonna be able to do something. Like, oh, I don't take cold showers, so I'm never gonna be able to relax. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, bro.
I think too much of anything is not good, obviously. But I was actually kind of obsessed with self-help videos, like YouTube videos in high school. And what happened to me was I just started taking for granted all the information I was getting. So, you know, I was always I was processing it, but I wasn't taking anything into action. So I think it took me to like finally get out of my comfort zone, to finally apply some of the things that I just been thinking about, but just never had the chance to use. And so once I got to Boston, really, that's when I started realizing like, wow, like all this stuff I've been listening to is like really helping me now. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like there's a lot of information overload when you're trying to take in all this information, all these things that you want to utilize on your own spiritual journey, on your own adventure, that it does become too much and you don't know which direction to go.
Yeah.
Where it's like, should I take these cold showers? Should I meditate every 2 hours every day, morning and night? It's like, it just becomes too much and you don't really know which direction to go. Because I fell into that category also, where I was consuming too much self-help videos around this time last year, late 2020, where I was just trying to figure out myself, figure out my way in this world, and I didn't really know which direction to go. But it wasn't until I took a step back away from that and I just really started evaluating that information that was being given and forming my own interpretations on what they were giving me, life just became, better for me. It became easier to manage the day-to-day life without trying to meet the expectations of all of these self-help YouTubers or these self-help authors who got successful based on their own interpretations.
Yep. Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it is an expectation that they're setting. And then you read all these comments and like see shit online. Then you further your expectations. And you're like, oh, if they can do it, like, why am I not doing it? Yeah, like I said, like certain stuff works for you, certain stuff doesn't. So you gotta take everything with a grain of salt.
That's well said. I think the other thing I picked up on is that most self-help videos are just discipline. Like they're just discipline, whether it's taking a break from social media, like a social media detox, or just putting your phone away before you go to sleep, like 30 minutes before you go to sleep, whatever it was. I just realized it was just discipline, and so I don't need someone else to tell me how to discipline myself. Those kind of seem kind of silly. I have another funny story actually. My hot water heater went out like a couple weeks ago, so for 2 weeks, for whatever reason, my parents needed to fix. But I was taking cold showers the entire week, and so now I take cold showers are pretty much a part of my everyday routine. And so it's just kind of funny how that kind of happens. I don't know where I'm going with it, but I don't know. It's just kind of funny.
No, it's cool. Like, I've been trying to get into like the cold showers things too, because like I've always heard about it. Like, I have a friend who lives out in Texas and he does cold showers, like straight up. He's been doing cold showers for 4 years now. I'm like, you're out of your mind. Ain't no way I'm taking a cold shower in the winter.
It's refreshing.
Bruh, at the end of your shower, just turn that drink.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
I think I've tried it here and there occasionally, but I'm so used to like that nice hot water coming down on me after that long, hard day and like breathing all that in. But I've heard of the benefits of cold showers and what.
It just feels good.
It feels so good.
It feels good. Yeah. Once you get out of the shower, like, it feels mad good.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's really good for your skin.
Yeah. It opens up your pores and then closes them or something like that.
Cold closes your pores. Hot will open it up.
Oh, really?
When I like wash my face and stuff, like before I wash my face, I'll turn it all the way.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll just stand there for like 5 minutes. Cold water.
It feels good.
Right.
It's refreshing.
On the topic of discipline, when did you guys start really disciplining yourselves in your lives? Because I'll admit, we're still young, but in high school, I wasn't as much disciplined as I am now. I'm sure you guys were the same way. There was a lot of procrastination issues. So when did you guys get to a point in your lives where discipline became somewhat of the main focus?
That's a funny question because we both have pretty strict parents. So do you want to answer that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's never been like my number one priority type thing. It's important for sure, and I guess I put more emphasis on it as I've gone through college and stuff like that, and especially now that I'm out of school, I can't loaf, you know what I mean? Like, if I loaf, I'm gonna just lay there all day. So to me, discipline is consistency. This is like one thing a lot of the self-help YouTubers talk about and shit. Like motivation versus discipline. So motivation is just like a burst, right? Of I want to do this. This is the type of thing like you wake up at 2 a.m. and you're up and you're like, oh shit, like let me clean my room, something like that, right? But the discipline is, you do this every day, like consistency. So I think we've all been doing a form of it in one way or another. Like when you wake up, do you make your bed?
I try to.
Every morning. Yeah. So that's a form of discipline, right? Because it's consistency. So I guess you just kind of have to work your way in doing that with different stuff. Like the gym or like reading a little bit every day. So you have to work it into your schedule. That's basically what it is. I mean, humans take a little while to form habits, so you have to also like positively reward yourself. So, I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, consistency.
Positive rewards. Can you explain that?
Reinforcement. Yeah. So like positive punishment, positive reinforcement. It's all about like conditioning, right? This is how any species learns. This is a form of learning, right? So the best way to learn is on a non-regular reinforcement. So there's two types of reinforcement, right? So either let's say a rat was running on a wheel, right? You can either give it a treat every 5 minutes it's on the wheel, or you could give it a treat like every time it runs, right? So the best way to learn is the best way to reinforce is not based on time, but based on like interval. So they call it, a non-structured interval reinforcement. So instead of giving the rat cheese every time, like once every time it runs on the wheel, you'd give it to it like first once, right? And then maybe every like 2 times, then maybe every 4 times, then once right after that, right? So you have to reward yourself, not super often, but reward yourself on like a non-regular interval.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I can kind of relate with that.
Yeah.
I like to kind of treat myself once a month. You know, I like to eat good food. So,
Who doesn't?
So last month in July on my birthday, I treated myself to Sakura's, you know, the Japanese steakhouse.
Right.
Bought myself a nice chicken and shrimp teriyaki meal, got it in a plate, got it to go, ate that joint by myself in my room. Yeah, it was like $25. I would never spend $25 on a meal, but this is the one time I'm going to treat myself for getting through the month of June. And I did the same, you know, this month in August. You know, I got through the month of July, even though I was going through all this stuff mentally in the beginning. I bought myself a burger from Five Guys, you know what I mean? $15 meal. I would never do that, you know, on the regular. I like to save my money, but I'm treating myself, you know what I mean? Once a month, I'm going to treat myself, get myself something nice to eat. So that tells me, all right, if I can work hard, get through this month with no issues, trying to at least stay disciplined and committed to what I'm trying to go for, then you know what? Next month, I'm going to treat myself to something nice.
Bro.
Whether it's some nice shoes or if I'm going to eat some good food, you know what I mean? I'm going to just do that.
I love that you treat yourself to Five Guys. That's awesome.
Bro, I had the bacon cheeseburger, the grilled onions, tomatoes, lettuce. I'm talking all that stuff,
all
man.
that, yeah.
I punished that joint. I didn't know how my stomach would feel after it because, like, I haven't had Five Guys in months, but
I've got good, right?
it'd be banging, you know what I mean?
Bacon fries, bro?
Oh, yeah.
You said you're going today.
I think I'm going today.
Five Guys.
I was gonna go to Chipotle after this.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, get myself a chicken bowl.
It's a good idea.
Again, treating myself. I got through the week.
Hey.
Yeah, bro. Good idea.
Yeah, but it's good that, you know, you brought up positive reinforcement because, like you said, it is good to take care of yourself, you know, self-care, do the things that you like to do because you've been putting in all this work getting to this certain point in your life.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way animals learn. They've done, like, studies and shit on that. So that's one thing I learned in psychology.
We're animals.
Yeah, we are
So
animals.
humbling.
We are mammals.
Mammals.
I was going to say manimals,
Mammals.
but we are mammals. On the topic of self-care, talk to me about the importance of taking breaks. You know what I mean? Giving yourself that rest time to really take care of yourself, focus on your goals, reevaluate where you are in life. You know, that's sort of what I'm doing now. I'm not planning on releasing this episode or any more future episodes, at least until September, you know, until I feel comfortable and I feel ready to do so. You know, this is my way of kind of taking a break from the instant gratification of putting out an episode, getting all the views, looking at all the likes and comments and whatnot. So how important is it to take those breaks for yourself?
Breaks are extremely important. I told you before I had a concussion a couple weeks ago. And so really I meditated, I drank water all day, and I just chilled. I just took naps all day. And that week I probably had the most energy I've had in months, right? Because I was just chilling, literally just doing nothing. And so it helped me just like take a step back in terms of, you know, where I was for soccer, where I was my internship, and, you know, the things I needed to do in order to get where I wanted to be. For my internship, it was just, you know, showing up every day with a positive attitude, you know, just making sure I'm giving it 110% every day. Soccer was more discipline. But yeah, no, breaks are extremely important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah, Gautam, I know you were studying for your medical test that you took back in May or June, I believe. How did you find ways to really take care of yourself, mentally ground yourself in those moments? Because I'm sure it was stressful for you.
Nah, bro, no breaks during that job.
No breaks? Oh,
Bro,
no.
I was in the dumpsters, bro. That was the worst test ever. That shit sucks.
How long was it?
The test, like 8 hours, like
Good
seven and a half.
You're built different.
No, how do you practice for that, though?
Bro, just study all day, bro. My boy just took it like last week, bro. That same night, so his test started at like 3. He came out at 10:30.
Jeez.
Good grief.
Bro,
Oh, my goodness.
10:30, and we like all went over there, picked him up, and we just had like a nice night in DC.
Man, that must have been so nice.
Yeah.
Bro, that man, bro, he was famished. So
I would have been famished.
The restaurant, bro, right, they give you huge, it's like shawarma and fries and stuff like that.
Oh, my
Shawarma
goodness.
after an 8 meal.
Yo.
Yes,
Bro,
sir.
he ate his whole plate, and then he ate, like, I couldn't finish mine, right?
So he ate yours.
So
Yeah,
I finished my shawarma, ate some of my fries. He finished, like, the rest of my fries. He finished my boy's fries. And then he bought this big plate of, like, dessert, bro. Finished that joint by himself. And then as I was driving home, I got a FaceTime from him. This man's, like, for some reason, it was, like, all red, right? So it was, like, the color red. His face was all red. And he was still in the car. And I was oh, shoot, like, why is it all red? And he was like, I'm in a drive-thru right now. That man bought McDonald's and ate that shit, too, bro. He was... Damn.
What?
I'm telling you, that shit...
They don't let you bring snacks at the...
There's, like... Dude, you have to scarf it down though. Like it's really short. Yeah.
Wow. Sheesh.
It's really short breaks. You can't have no water or anything while you're taking the test.
Man.
You gotta come out, bro. Like you come out, you check out, and then when you come back in, they like pat you down and everything.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, you can't leave the test center.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's OC.
After 7 hours, yeah.
No way, bro.
Too.
Man, the things you do for your career, the things you do to get to a certain point.
Bro, like,
his field is just way different,
that's
though, I
just the
feel.
beginning, bro.
Huh?
That's just the beginning.
That's just the beginning.
For him, it's only the beginning.
Oh my
It's an
God.
even harder test coming up, like after the second year.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man. But how do you feel about yourself now that you've kind of came out of that period now and you're able to reflect on that?
Pretty good. I guess I'm still stressed because I'm not in med school yet, so I don't know. So I guess once I get in, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And from there, it's kind of smooth sailing. That's another thing. Like for me, and how we're talking about the money and stuff, like instant gratification. That's actually one big thing they talk about with doctors because the road is so long. So oftentimes doctors will see like during their final years of med school and like through residency and fellowship, they'll see like their peers and stuff that they've seen before, buying houses, starting families, and then they'll start thinking to themselves like why can't I have this? Like why am I in this long ass road? Like I don't have shit yet. But I guess money comes and goes. So at the end of this whole thing, like it'll come.
Yeah.
You gotta wait.
Yo, Mr. Kerwin. Shout out Mr. Kerwin. I hope he listens to this episode. We were having a conversation once, and, he's obviously he's a teacher, and he was telling me, like, yeah, I have all these friends, and, they're all getting married now. They're having kids. They're in these houses and everything. They're experiencing all this different stuff. And me, I'm teaching, Obviously, they're making more money than me, but that's fine, though, because I'm doing something that I'm love. I'm doing something that I'm passionate about. So, hearing you talk about that, experiencing, knowing that, you got a long road ahead of you, but you're perfectly content going down that road because in the end, you're going to get what's coming to yours. You're going to get you're going to have that security with your job. You're going to make that money to have that financial security. You're going to have all of that, just like him in the future, because he's just building his way up, working his way up. Yeah, and so, that's just what you have to do.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, I know I'm gonna have a satisfying career, so I'm gonna be happy with that. Every day, like my job is literally gonna be talking to people every single day.
Yeah.
Like being a doctor, that's what you do. You meet all sorts of people. You talk to them all day, every day. That's what it boils down to. So I'm gonna be happy with that.
Man, sometimes you just have to put your head down and grind.
Yeah.
And once you know your why, once you know what your motivation is, there's nothing that can stop you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, but putting your head down, like completely just going at it sometimes I find that kind of like the culture that we have now, like the grind set culture, bro.
Grind set.
Yeah. I think it's kind of dumb because you got to enjoy like the moment. You're going through your days, and like if you're grinding all day, what are you enjoying? You know what I mean? I mean, some people say, "Oh yeah, I enjoy this and this." Bro, like get a hobby, bro. Like,
exactly.
I meant healthy, like a healthy amount.
Yeah.
But I see your point.
But I was among those people that struggled with always constantly grinding and not enjoying those successful, great moments. Like earlier this year, I dropped a poetry book. I dropped a whole book. What 20-year-old is dropping poetry books? You know what I mean? I should have celebrated and relished that fact, but I kind of diminished that and pushed it to the side and said, nah, bump all that. I got to get back to school. I got to figure out when I can drop this next poetry book. Like, I was too busy looking towards the future, and that's great, but I didn't celebrate this really cool accomplishment. And now that all that's kind of died down, all the hype that I had when I first dropped it, now everything has kind of gone silent. And it's like, wow, like I really just did that. And I've been kind of celebrating that to the side sometimes when I am meditating and thinking about everything that I've accomplished this past year. So, I mean, I agree. I think it is good to, work hard, but you should also really just celebrate everything that you have accomplished. Celebrate those moments. Like you graduated, you got your bachelor's. I'm sure you celebrated that.
It wasn't much to do. I mean, I was happy I got my degree.
I mean, I'm probably the same way. I probably think like that too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy. I'm definitely happy with it. Like, dang, like milestone. I finished college.
Huge
right?
milestone.
Yeah. So I try to enjoy at least a little part of every day. So I guess that's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
It's funny we're talking about this. I was talking to my dad about what to do, like saving money, like my money plans, because it's my first job over the summer and stuff. And like one of the first things he told me was like, dude, like enjoy, you know, the amount you're making. Like, go spend some money. And I was like, you know, I kind of had to look back at him, like, what did you just say? Like, you're encouraging me to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely enjoy, you know, relish, like you said, the moment.
Bro, he knows he's older. Like, money's gonna come and go.
Yeah.
Use that shit like how you wanted to use it. Like, what, you're gonna die with all this money in your bank account for what? You know what I mean? Like,
Throw my money in the grave.
No, you can't take it with you. You can't take it with you.
Bro, like, shit. I mean, I spend all my money on my
I know.
So, enjoy it.
Yeah, that's something I'm glad you said that too, because like I've been trying to be frugal and save my money a little bit, and I've been kind of thinking in the back of my mind like, yo, I got this much money in the bank. It really wouldn't hurt me if I bought some clothes and bought some shoes, you know, wore it here and there when I go out in public. But it's like that part of me is like that fear of like not having enough. But I know you guys probably aren't religious, but you know, the Lord has definitely blessed me financially in times when I have been struggling. So if I'm sitting here stressing about money, then what's the point? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right.
That's a great point.
I mean, it's always in moderation too, though. Like,
Right.
Like, spend it like you like it, but you know, be smart about it too.
Right.
Yeah, don't sit here and spend like $600 on some Yeezys or something like that.
Why not? No.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the money.
You got it like that.
You got it like that. I don't got it like that.
Yeah, me neither. But as we're talking about this conversation, how we view ourselves mentally, where you guys were mentally in high school, how would you rate yourselves then? And then how would you rate yourselves now mentally? From 1 to 10.
Shoot.
I don't know. I think we have different priorities back then and now, so
Right.
it's hard to kind of compare. But I feel like I'm definitely doing better now. Yeah, I guess for sure I'm doing
The
better.
first thing that pops in my mind is like, I'm a 10 now. I mean, obviously there's room for improvement.
Oh, yeah.
But since high school, like,
High school was shitty. Bro. High school
I
sucked.
can't even compare. Like, there's no comparison.
No.
I'm a different person, to be
Yeah.
completely honest.
Yeah. Bro, Huntingtown High School?
It wasn't it
Big.
for either of us. It wasn't it.
No, it really wasn't, man.
Huntingtown High School. Who?
Yeah.
Even though we're here right now doing this recording, but
Yeah.
I mean, still, like, I definitely did kind of go through the motions in high school. Like, there are definitely some things that I would definitely try to go back and fix. Definitely with the people that I was hanging with. Like, I would love to hang with y'all and, you know,
for sure.
Malcolm and everybody else like that. But, you know, things happen for a reason. And obviously, we're sitting here right now doing this thing, so.
In high school, I was only going through the motions.
Yeah.
Literally nothing else was clicking for me. Just going through the motions. That's what it felt like, at least.
Get there every day, bro. I used to stay up until like 4 a.m. watching
Trying to
Naruto.
Good grief.
I thought you were going to say finish homework.
No, bro, I never did know. Bro, I don't know how I did all that.
This man's a genius, bro.
And he graduated early, too.
Yeah,
Bro,
as a
I don't even
junior.
know- I don't even know what it was. It was just literally going through the motions every day.
I will never forget. We had 2 classes together. I think it was either sophomore year or junior year, and they were back to back. We had Courier, and then we had that. What's her name? It was chemistry, I think. And
Oh, yeah.
Neither of us had studied
Science.
for this periodic table test. This man literally, we were sitting in Courier's class, right? Do you know what Courier is?
Yeah, I know he is.
Yeah, so we were sitting in Courier's class, and we were both like, shit, like we forgot to study for this test. In his mind, he had drawn a map, like of what the elements we needed to memorize, and he was trying to explain it to me. And I was like, dude, I have no clue what you're talking. And he probably did well on the test. I don't know, I forget how well it did, but it was just funny. I'll never forget that story, bro.
Ridiculous. Some people
I'll
are
never forget that.
Some people are just smart just cause, you know. You're one of those people. You're just smart for the sake of
I
smart.
appreciate that, but like, dude, college is definitely humbling. Like, you're surrounded by a lot of smart people, and like, you have to work hard once you get to college, bro. There's no way around it, and that definitely like messed me up in my first 2 years. Like, yeah, I mean, it's definitely hard. Once I hit OrgoChem, like, it wasn't a hard class. I just remember my first semester of college, I like skated through just like high school, so I was like, all right, bet this shit's about to be some cheese.
Easy, yeah.
Yeah, and then I hit Orgo, so I would show up to class like every day, 10 minutes late, sit in the back on my phone, like, and I bombed my first test. And I'm like, I really need to get going. So I don't know, that semester ended up being bad. Somehow I scrapped my final, so I did well in the class, but then slowly that you need to put in effort.
Yeah.
Right. You did touch on that on the first podcast episode we did, where college really humbled you, because in high school, like you said, you kind of coasted by. You were just there. You were just doing your thing. You know what I mean? But then once you got to college, everything humbled you. I had the similar experience. You know, with my math class, I didn't study, put in a lot of work like I should have, bombed my first test, and that just set the whole course of my grade in that class. Like, I got a D. Like, I never got a D. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so once I got that, I realized, you know, shit, I got to get to work. I got to work hard, start doing what I got to do to get my GPA up. You know what I mean? So it was just nose to the ground from there, you know, just putting in all this work, trying to get that 4.0 GPA. So then once I got that 4.0, I was like, you know, this is why I worked hard. I worked hard for this.
Yes,
Right,
sir.
exactly. And I mean, you see the progress. Like, I was messing up with that orgochem class, but you know, in my final years, I did a biochemistry, which is like a combination of, you know, orgo, like biology, you know, all these physical chemistry, like all that stuff is a combination. I took the class that was a combination of biochemistry 1 and 2, and they like pushed into one semester, and I ended up getting an A+ in that. So
Nice.
like, you see the culmination of your work, and you're like, that.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm good now.
Say less.
Say less. Yeah. Do you guys find it to be important for men and women? I'll throw women in this category as well, in this topic. But do you find it important for people to, you know, hold themselves accountable for their mistakes, their shortcomings, and be able to sit there and admit, okay, I messed up here, or to have the ability to look in the mirror and say, I'm not great mentally, I need to get help? Do you find that that's something that people should do more?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's integrity, right? That's what responsibility is. It's like owning up to your actions. So it's definitely an important part of like growth.
I will say my parents have always been huge on accountability and just responsibility in general. Whether it's like just getting chores done around the house, or just, you know, doing what you say you're gonna do, right? Like keeping your word. So it's just something I've always been used to. But recently, I think combined with discipline and just self-integrity, like you said,
Right.
I've been good. Like just combining the two and just, you know, trying to stay committed every day to, you know, what my values are, what I'm trying to do. It's all good.
Yeah, like I had
It's
a
all
relative.
positive.
Yeah, I had a relative. Him and I, we don't talk no more. He cut me off, but it was just like he always did me wrong, and he always did other people in the group wrong. But he never really held himself accountable. He never really admitted, okay, in this situation, I was wrong for cussing you out in public where other people were around, or I was wrong for putting my hands on you and whatnot. He never really held himself accountable for anything like that, and so it kind of made me realize.
He put his hands on you?
He would put hands on us and other people, like definitely like different like taps on the leg like that. But sometimes he like be hitting us like
I
that.
thought you meant like serious.
Nah, like no, no.
Because, you know, just say the word, I'll pull up.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like, you know what I mean? You can't be touching people, putting your hands on people like that. It's one thing to do it when we're 15 and 16, but we're getting older at this point. You know what I mean? I don't want to be sitting there and you sitting there smacking me on the arm as hard as you can. I don't want that. But it culminated to a point where he was getting upset at how I was living my life, how I was doing my thing. You know, I was just doing my thing, living life, and he didn't really like that. So one day he just called me up. He was like, "You're fake. You know, you're dead to me. I want nothing to do with you." And he blocked me on all platforms. And I guess he thought everybody in the group would side with him, but everybody was like, "Nah, Ced did nothing wrong in this situation. He's just doing his thing. He's got to allow his mind mentally, but he's still doing his thing, and you can't just pop off on him like that." And he never really apologized for anything like that he did to us in the past. So it just kind of goes back to that accountability, like just holding yourself accountable and admitting your faults, admitting your mistakes.
Accountability kind of transgresses itself into so many things.
It really does.
Like, your cousin, not to put him on blast or throw him under the bus, he sounds really immature. That's such a childish thing to do. Like, you're going to call me up and tell me I'm fake.
Right.
For what, right? Like, meet me face to face, we can talk about it.
Exactly.
You know, so some people just don't mature, and you have to put that in perspective. And once you do, you can move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you did. You know, you're just minding your business.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's been, 3 months now since he popped off on me, and he has me blocked, hasn't hit me up since. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
you're chilling.
I'm just chilling.
Right.
I'm chilling, doing this podcast with y'all.
Right,
Keeping
exactly.
the people that I care about and that care about me has my best interest close
in
to
your
me.
circle, right?
Yeah. As 2021, this year is just flying by. As it's rolling down, coming to an end, it seems like, what are some of the goals that you guys have for yourselves?
Get through every day, I guess.
Yeah, I knew that was your answer. You just chilling, man. I love how you're just chilling, man. That's my thing too. Just getting through everything day by day. You know, tomorrow's not guaranteed, so I'm just living, you know, day by day. Obviously, I do have other milestones I would love to reach, but, you know, like you said, take it one day at a time.
The biggest goal I set for myself back in like February or March was I need to start the season. So I've been working on that throughout the entire summer, but it's stressed me out.
Yeah.
Because my season's coming up soon and I'm anxious. So that's my biggest goal so far.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like make small goals. Like maybe say, I don't know, if you like when you play, show out, right?
Yeah.
Start with that and then slowly work yourself up to like I'm starting and then leading type thing. Take it step by step.
Yeah, small goals is a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Gautam, were you always like this? Someone that kind of like takes everything slow with life, or gradually did you just get to this place?
No, definitely not. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. You just kind of learn over time that you have. I mean, things will come. You just got to take it slow.
Right, absolutely. And so
definitely get what you need to get done. Like, don't lack, but take it easy. Like, don't take everything so serious. Like, you take life so seriously, bro. It's not gonna be fun.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, I work with kids, and that always used to be my mindset. Like, I got to be serious. I need these kids to take me seriously. Like, I'm going to mean business. You know what I mean? And then once I started letting go of that mentality and I started being a kid myself sometimes and just having fun, things just got better. It got easier to work with my coworkers. It got easier working with the children there. So it's like I don't take myself as seriously like I used to anymore. It's like, yeah, sometimes I can be intense, but you know, I still like to, you know, have fun and just let loose at times.
I love that motto, not taking life too serious. Sometimes my G can attest to this too. My brothers are the silliest guys you'll ever meet. Like, I'm just always in play mode, literally always. And so, as an older brother, you know, sometimes my demeanor, my dynamic is like a little bit different because, you know, I'm the leader. I've got to be the responsible one, but I'm a kid too. You know, I'm still just trying to have fun. And so, having them, you know, just messing around all the time kind of reminds me of that. So
yeah, absolutely.
Definitely comes full circle.
Yeah. So my last question to y'all before we go ahead and wrap this thing up. Once again, thank y'all again for taking the time to do this with me. Is if you could offer a piece of advice to anybody that's still struggling mentally, because we're still in this pandemic, if you could give a piece of advice to anyone that's struggling with their mental health, what would you say to that individual?
Yeah, I guess, like I said, like, take it day by day and don't take the shit so seriously, man.
My advice kind of has to play in with his. Don't be so hard on yourself, right? If you really, you know, if you really want to get it, you know, you're gonna set the small goals to get where you want to be, but don't be so hard on yourself. You know, take a step back. You know, analyze your failures and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, definitely with me, you know, I've definitely been struggling mentally since the passing of my father, and I've been taking it, you know, day by day, also trying to navigate life, you know, without him in it. And as I come across on the 1 year anniversary next month, I've been trying to do that myself, just really, you know, take care of myself mentally, look in the mirror and analyze myself, look at where I've messed up in the past year, where I've thrived, and just try to, you know, build upon my failures and try not to make those same mistakes, and just, you know, honestly just keep living life, because I still have a life to live. And even though it's hard to do that sometimes on some days where it just gets rough, you know, I still got this life to live, and I still have things that I have to make right. So
You got your whole life ahead of you.
yeah, so that's all I got to do.
Yes, sir.
Well, gentlemen, once again, thank you for joining me again on the podcast. Gautam, this was your third appearance on the show, so I'm glad I got you on again. Zane, thank you once again for coming on the show.
Pleasure.
We got to do another one-on-one episode again.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, thank y'all for joining me.
Hey, thanks for
Thank
having
you, bro.
me, man.
Yup.
Appreciate it.
Stay blessed and stay encouraged.